Let's refresh this page. See if that does the trick. Wouldn't be the first time that... Okay, so I got a viewer. I think I am live. Welcome everybody to the Reza Guitars and Effects Twitch live stream. Today I got something a little bit different that I'm going to be working on. Just getting all set up right now. Yeah, we're live, baby. Okay, welcome everybody. I hope you're all having a lovely, wonderful day. Let's start off by doing the music credits. This is a band called Decimals. They are, yeah, woo! They are this like conceptual metal kind of band. They're out of Spain, and they're really, really good. So, all the music you hear will belong to them. I don't own any of it. Just getting the music credits out of the way. Okay. So today, we are going to be working on this drive pedal that's going to have several different types of clipping. Little wonky one right here. I'm going to have LED clipping, I'm going to have silicone clipping, I'm going to have asymmetrical between all of it. It's just going to be this cool little pedal, and it's going to have a TC1044 SCPA chip in it, which is it's a charge pump. And what that is basically when we have the voltage going through here, we got 9 volts worth of signal. Think of it like the headroom for the signal. If it starts going above or below that 9 volts, then that's when we start getting that crunchified kind of, well, crunch, I guess. That charge pump essentially gives us a negative 9 volts as well. So we got positive 9 up here and negative 9 down here. So it gives us 18 volts to play with. So it takes that 9 volts and kind of doubles the headroom. So it's going to be real powerful. Should be pretty good. And because it's going to have LED clipping too, the 2 LEDs are up here. I was thinking that I might have the LEDs poke up actually out of the enclosure, since the LEDs are right next to each other, and kind of do like I don't know, glowing eyes or something coming out on the enclosure as part of the artwork. I don't I don't have any artwork in particular for this one, so I don't know what would have these glowing eyes, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So I think I might save the LEDs for later until I actually have, artwork to put in it. So let's get started. How is everybody's day? First things first, as always, I'm going to start by putting in these IC sockets. I need 3 of them on this, 1 for the charge pump and 2 for the op amps. TL072s on this one. Okay. Let's see if I can flip this over without them falling out. Ooh. Yes. Working on the latest guitar, huh? Well, that is always fun. Speaking of working on the latest guitar, we've got some news on our end that I'll talk about later concerning guitars. Pretty exciting. Okay, there's one corner. the opposite right there. So unfortunately over here it looks like this coming week we're going to get some pretty bad weather. Snow predicted on Tuesday and Wednesday. About 80% chance. So, well, nobody wants any of that. Okay, so I've just soldered the top right, bottom left corners of these sockets. So now I can put them up here, and you guys can kind of get a piece of the action from your viewpoint. Let's make this a little closer. There we go. Okay. Yeah, these guys, decimals. You can find their self-titled album on YouTube. It was shared on the channel where Post Rock Dwells, I believe. Or maybe it was In the Woods. It's one of those YouTube channels. And it's supposed to be like a space journey where, you know, it's kind of telling a story of space and or time travel. It's pretty neat conceptually. I've had these guys playing in my ear while I've been at work and stuff like that. And what I mean by work is my day job. For those who don't know, I work 12 hours and 45 minutes per shift at a coal mine. And it is awful. Hey, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? So I'm almost done with these sockets for the chips. And once I get these in here, as per the usual, I will move on to resistors, starting with the lowest value going up. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So we're going to start with, I believe, just 100 ohms. Very, very tiny. Okay. There's actually not a lot to this pedal itself. The real cool part about it is all the switching that's going to happen, because I'm going to have a 3-way toggle switch that'll let you go between the silicone asymmetrical and LED flipping. Why do I have 6 of these? It's a mistake. So I can go back. This one is just a 330 ohm, not too much bigger than a 100. But when you need a voltage divider, they work. So what comes next? The 1Ks. There's going to be 4 of these bad boys in here. Alright. So I kind of talked about this pedal yesterday, if you caught that stream. I likened it to well, there's like 101 different drive pedals out there that have the different forms of clipping and whatnot. But I think the one that it's probably closest to is the, because of the charge pump that's on here, is the Plumes by Earthquaker Devices, which is a great pedal. You guys should check it out. But yeah, this one's kind of similar to that one. Just one more of these 1K resistors. Have I watched Die Hard yet? No. I might wait for Christmas. I was actually talking to our boy Nathan the other day, and I was like, hey, I know I haven't seen The Godfather yet, but I just found Jumanji on Netflix. I'm gonna go watch this real quick. I don't know why. I love Jumanji. How about you guys out there? You guys fans of the original Jumanji? I'm talking with Robin Williams. In fact, I'm such a fan that I used to watch the cartoon. Don't remember what channel it was on, but I used to watch the cartoon. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I have not seen Die Hard yet. I know that's one of those unfollow kind of things. I'll get to it. Don't worry, there is a place in my heart for the Nakatomi Plaza, I'm sure. So I don't have any crazy drinks today. Not that my drinks were ever that crazy, but you know, as a standard on my streams, I like to ask everybody, what are you drinking? You guys treating yourselves to a frosty cold beverage, or are you hydrating like most of us need to? I know, sad face, I'm sorry. I haven't seen Die Hard yet. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, that's a good solder joint. Sometimes the way the light's reflecting off of the solder joints, it's like, oh my god, there's nothing in there. Like I didn't put any solder in there at all. No, I did. So 4.7K. Got two of these guys on this circuit. 4.7. Boom. This one should actually be done pretty lickety split. There's not a lot going on this circuit as compared to the one from yesterday. Huh. So when I was going through the different movies on Netflix, and I found Jumanji, it kept on. There was like a lot of swashbuckling movies that it was suggesting for me, and I'm not real sure why, but they were definitely all in the 90s, like Waterworld. Basically anything with Kevin Costner, with the music of Bryan Adams. It kept suggesting to me Robin Hood. You guys remember that time when Bryan Adams basically dominated all music soundtracks? So that was the 10K. I guess I could do the 47K. Yeah. I'm going to solder these, clip off all the excess so it doesn't start getting in my way. Man, this is going easy peasy. And then when I'm Waterworld changed your life? Yeah? I would like to hear that story. in a good way or in a bad way? Like, did you go to Universal and go on the ride and everything? Or see the live show or whatever it was they had there? I think it's a live show. I have very vague memories of Waterworld. I remember the smokers. I remember Jack Black was in it. He was one of the smokers. He was like flying one of the planes and like shooting one of the guns out of a plane or something like that. But I was actually talking to my dad about Waterworld when it came out because he was sitting there by the couch with me. And I remember this very interesting fact. Like, it used to be a darker movie, meaning like, I don't know, just more like tragic, I guess. But and they had this other movie score that I think probably would have worked better. But Kevin Costner was like, no, I'm the hero. I want my movies to be, like rah rah, good guys kind of stuff. So at the last minute, Kevin Costner had the soundtrack essentially changed, and so now we get these like real weird kind of trumpet fanfares whenever like when the smokers are gunning down people and just destroying the last remnants of a village or whatever. You get the like little trumpet fanfare things, and it's real goofy. It was a very weird move, but Kevin Costner, being the superstar that he was at the time, they're like, well, I don't know, he said we should. You don't say no to Kevin Costner in the 90s. So 100K. But yeah, I'd totally love to hear how Waterworld changed your life, and whether it was for the better or worse. I always thought it was kind of funny how the smokers, the antagonists, they were always like dingy and greasy with like engine oil and stuff like that, because it was kind of the aesthetic that they were going for. And they're constantly smoking cigarettes in a world where even dirt is precious. It's like, where are you getting that tobacco, buddy? Let's see. How do? A more or less lurking. Restringing a nylon string. Ooh. I get real nervous restringing nylon strings just because, like, when you do the little twisty roo at the bottom of the bridge, I'm always afraid it's gonna come untangled. But yeah, those smokers from Waterworld, they're all greasy and dingy and things like that. It's like the world's full of water. You could just very easily reach down and wash yourself, buddy. I don't know. It's one of them fun movies. It's one of them make 'em ups. You digging the Waterworld talk? I, I listen to a bunch of like podcasts or interesting shows and whatnot about movie trivia. Like I listen to things about movies more than I watch movies, which is a strange thing, I know, but given the nature of my work, me driving a haul truck for like 13 hours, audiobooks and podcasts are kind of essential to keeping your sanity. So I hear all these interesting facts, like that thing about the movie. About the movie soundtrack, sorry. Where Kevin Costner's like, no, I want something a little more heroic. But yeah, I think it would have served it a little bit better if the movie score hadn't have been changed. I don't know what the original was. They just describe it as like more just like darker in tone, but more operatic, if you will, instead of But yeah, I remember the Waterworld craze. It was everywhere. I believe they even had like Burger King toys and things like that. So it was intended for, I don't know. Everyone just loved it. But there's not a whole lot, if I recall, that actually goes on with the, like, he's a very I'm gonna say uncaring protagonist because it encouraged me not to be a jet ski pirate. Oh, that's how it changed your life. I see. But he was a very uncaring protagonist because everything was happening around him, and he was just like, I've got my own agenda. I don't really want to get involved, but you guys are pulling me into things. And if I remember correctly, it's been a while. So I got all the resistors on here. So next, let's move to some of the clipping diodes here. Yeah. Just like with the Resurrect last night, we're going to use 1M4148s. 3 of these bad boys because of the asymmetrical clipping. You know what though, Nick? Like, if it's your calling to be a jet ski pirate, though, don't let a movie stop you. You go do your thing. Do your thing with the jet skis. I've only been on a jet ski once. It was in Lake Elsinore of Southern California. The lake where they occasionally find bodies, you know. Because that's a thing that happens. But it was pretty fun. For me, it was like riding a horse in that, you know, you're excited to do it, and then when you're on it, you're like, this is an incredibly powerful thing that I just got on. Uh-oh. I don't know, I was a teenager. Holy cow, I just realized that this thing had volume. I hope nobody could hear my double talk going on. Anyway, yeah, it was a ski-doo, is what it was. I don't know if there's a difference or if that's just a brand. But it was a ski-doo. It was fun. Didn't go very fast because I was quietly wetting myself with how much power that thing felt like it had. Okay. Alright. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. Anybody ready to go back to the work week? I could probably give the answer for that. No. I wish I had a Monday through Friday job. Man, that would be sweet. Or something with bank hours. Or heck, even something with just 8 hours. They compensate us well with pay, but sometimes it's just not worth it. You ruin your back, it's super rough, you can't breathe. Coal mining's rough. I don't recommend it to anyone. Still enjoying some unemployment. You ought to get back to work. 7/10s was a bit much. Oh. I was unemployed for a little while. It got kind of scary for a while because the nature out here is everyone panic mines, meaning like they force you to do overtime to try and meet all the demands. They force overtime, and then when like something happens, like it's not as cold as they predicted or it's not as hot as they predicted and people aren't using energy as much, then they start laying everyone off. And then once numbers stabilize a little bit, then they start hiring back again. It's very unfortunate because then you have to start all over with your, you know, like with seniority or something like that, you'd be all the way back at the bottom rung. With the pay scale, you'd be all the way back at the bottom rung. It's a nightmare. They panic mine, massive layoffs. It gets a little scary. Okay, so let's move on now to the capacitors. We'll start out with 56 picofarads. So I got these multi-layer monolithic ceramic capacitors, MLCCs. Tiny little guys, very reliable, very cheap. You made some good money, so took some recovery time. Union journeyman electrician, plenty of work out my way. Oh, that's good. Over here, the only industries that there are ranches, coal mining, and oil fields. I guess also the railroad, because all of those feed off the railroad too. And when one of those industries suffers, the entire state suffers and goes into panic mode. People start selling houses and try and go out of state, things like that. Okay, so this was 33 nano, wasn't it? Yes. So I'm glad there's work to be had out over there. Over here, there really isn't much options. Yeah, there really aren't much options. I mean, electricians can be good for anything, but if one of those industries folds, then there's a glut of electricians all of a sudden. I've been wanting to get out myself. Hence me trying to, do something cool and interesting and try and make a living out of it. This is definitely not sustainable for me right now. But, I'm working my way. Boy, this sucker's almost done. Just got a few more, capacitors, and I gotta plug in the chips, the ICs. Sweet. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Ashley was incredibly kind and got some real cool goodies out of the blue for my dad and I, and you guys will see them in the future, but it's just like infinitely cool. She absolutely didn't need to, but she did. It's really cool. You guys will see it. .47 nano. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Yeah, well, you were working night shifts. Of course, you just woke up. Honestly, I thought you'd be sleeping longer. Alright, 100 nanofarads. That one's going to go up here. Anybody do any work out there that alternates between days and nights? I mean, Ashley, I know you do. So this is the 470, and then that's the one. Ugh. Ooh, that was a large glob of solder I just left there. Okay, there we go. Scott's done alternating shifts on a 9-day cycle, 8 hours per. Night shifts kind of suck. Or I should say alternating shifts kind of suck. For those of you that have never done it, I don't recommend it. It's real hard on the body. If I were to tell you the mind schedule, A, it would confuse you, and B, you would say no thank you, which is the correct response. It is 4 day shifts with 3 days off, then... Oh, no, I'm sorry. 4 night shifts, then 2.5 days off, 3 day shifts, 1 day off, 3 night shifts, 2.5 days off, and then 4 day shifts. Swings, graves, and days, yeah. With 8-hour cycles, I remember swing shifts. Did those in the Air Force. Which, actually, swings are kind of cool. You know, you wake up later, come home around dinner time, go to bed. Swings were a pretty good option, I think. Because, like, if you had to go do things, you know, you can do all your errands in the morning and not feel absolutely tired. Whereas with a normal shift, if you get off at like 4 in the afternoon, then you're competing with all the people getting off of work. In terms of traffic, you're competing with, you know, parents picking up the kids from school. That's true. That is a true thing about working those off schedules like swings or nights. Less bosses. That's 100% true. So now let's go with these 1 microfarad big chunky boys right here. Big chunky guys. Like me, big chunky guy. Or like my cat. Holy cow. I make fun of my cat all the time. He's the coolest, most chill critter you will ever meet. Just absolutely awesome, and he makes you feel real good because he just, you know, he loves everyone. He'll come up to you and just start purring and pushing himself up against your leg or whatever, but anyway, he's a bit of a fat boy. We don't even feed him that much. He just has a lot of real loose skin under his belly. He's got a dangling pouch. He's a sweetheart though. His name is Monty. Around. Yeah, almost done. After this I have the electrolytic capacitors to throw on here. I just dropped something. What did I just drop? Oh. Monty's big boned. Give him some slack. Well, he's fat pouched. He's not big boned. Monty. He's awesome. Meows anytime someone walks in the kitchen. Yes, he's definitely one of those cats that's like, oh, you're going to the kitchen? You're gonna feed me? Yeah, feed me? Yeah. No, Monty. No. He's a sweetheart. Just gonna clean up some of these solder joints, make them look a little prettier. Yeah, Monty's like, oh, the food room. They're going to the food room. And then the sheer, like, look of audacity in his face. He's like, but you forgot to feed me. Just the incredulous nature. But he's a sweetheart. Anybody have any kittens out there? Or, you know, cats in general? Doesn't have to be a itty bitty kitten. Your Tuxedo Tom Simeo is usually right behind you when you head to the kitchen. Yep. And oh my god, if I ever get like we put our cereal in you know, those plastic bins or whatever to help keep them fresh and not stale. And anytime I grab that and, you know, he hears the rattling of something inside of a plastic bin, whoa, you're pretty spry for a chunky boy. It's not your food, it's just my cereal. Sorry, buddy. Tuxedo Tom. I like that. There we go. I said this last night and I'll say it again. Doing these electrolytic capacitors, they you gotta be real careful because the legs are so close to each other that it's real easy to bridge the gap in one of these. And you know, ironically, as soon as I said it last night, I bridged the gap on one of them. Black and white, always dressed up for formal occasions. You know, some cats are just like that. Just dapper to-dos. Growing up, I would have told you that, you know, oh, I'm a dog person. Cats are blah. You know, they're not bad, but they're just not as cool or whatever. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've said something like that growing up. But now, I'm like, cats are pretty cool. I think I've turned more into a cat person than a dog person. Not that dogs are bad. I like dogs. Just, I don't have the energy anymore for dogs. Cats just kind of meander about, sleep 16 hours a day. They're one of the few animals I could look at and just go, yeah, same. Just passed out, outstretched. Cool. So, I'm debating whether or not to complete this with the LED clipping diodes and everything right now so I could test it out versus me waiting to figure out what the enclosure art will look like, because I could take those clipping LED clipping diodes and have them poke up and kind of be like red eyeballs or something on part of a design. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off very well because where they're sitting, it's at kind of the very top of the enclosure. It'll be up here. But It would be kind of cool to see that, because when you're on that type of clipping, when you select that one, and you're strumming real hard, and the waveform actually goes over the headroom and whatnot, it'll clip that with the LED, and it'll light up every single time it's clipping it. So the harder you dig in, the more it lights up. So I'm debating whether I want to complete this one now or wait until I have a design ready for it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Because I could just finish it. Could just do it right now and we could test it out. So let me put the ICs in here first, the charge pump. And in case you missed it, I was talking earlier about the charge pump. What it'll do is essentially give us negative 9 volts as well as the positive 9 volts. So the amount of headroom I'll have is about 18 volts. Okay. Need to move that over just a little bit. There we go. Sneaky. I might have missed it. What's sneaky? Unless you're talking about the light up eyes. Or are you talking about the charge pump? Oh, I most certainly did not grab enough TL072s. Oh, yeah. It's, I mean, a lot of people do it, actually. In terms of getting higher headroom for pedals. It's so that I don't have to use an 18 volt power supply, You could just leave it at 9 volts for the average consumer. But yeah, electronics. Technology. And if you're interested in doing something with a charge pump, the particular one that I have on here is the TC1044 SCPA. Generally pretty cheap. Easy to find out there. You know what? I think I am going to finish this one, and we're going to test it out. Yep, that's what I think we're going to do. Because it would be more entertaining, and I'm curious as to how it's going to come out. So, let's go ahead and watch that. Let's put in the 2 LED clippers. I'm going to use 3mm red ones. The different oh, okay, let's see, hold on. Regarding the light up eyes, I picked up a Heather Brown Blessed Mother. Yes. Oh my god, that thing sounds so good. When it's power, the halo lights up, the pedal is on, the heart lights up. God, that is such a good pedal. I've been kind of debating whether I should whether I should get one or not, because, you know, it's kind of expensive. Hold on a tick. Just have to check something real quick, make sure that I didn't... Okay. That's what I thought. So I think it is facing the correct way, like this. Yeah, I really like how she did that with the halo. There is, there's another pedal by KMA, KMA something or other, but the pedal is called the Worm, WURM, and that thing has a real cool design. It's got this real messed up looking, like, I don't know, nightmare worm, but it's got a bunch of eyes, and all of them are LEDs lit up. But the way that she's got hers lit up, I believe, is just the operating, LED for the halo. She's probably got several of them kind of chained up. This is actually for clipping, so I don't know. Let's see. You really like it, probably haven't tapped into its full potential. You're so not ready for work in the morning, yeah. Yeah, I really want one of those blessed mothers. And she had she has that fuzz one too. The Heather Brown Electronicals. I don't remember what it was called, like, I don't know, Immaculate Inception or whatever. But the fuzz one, I went on her website, entered my email to get like a mailer as to when it would drop, and it said, oh, it's going on Reverb on this date. It's working a night shift, and I checked on Reverb at all hours of the morning, and then I came home, and then at like 10 in the morning I was like, hey, did this ever, you know, drop on Reverb? I've been looking. And she sent me a message back almost immediately. She's like, oh yeah, it sold out immediately. I was like, oh, because I literally was looking every hour on the hour from midnight. She makes good pedals. She's also got a pretty good resume in terms of pedal making. Are you saying damn it because I missed out, or because you missed out? Or both? Okay. I am going to get, actually I'll do the wires first. So let's go ahead and do the wires. Yeah, we both missed out. I'm telling you, like, I was looking every single hour, and I just never saw it appear. Not once. I don't know if they had, like, pre-ordered it, or, you know, like, what was going on, but it never went on Reverb, as far as I could tell. But yeah, that Blessed Mother, it's one of the best sounding drive pedals I've ever heard. It's really good. And I've actually never heard it on, in real life. I just, I watched the Reverb Andy's Tone Report, the man with the magic fingers. That dude could play anything. Okay. I'm almost done stripping these wires. Then I'll solder them on this side, and then I'll solder the wires on the back half. Yeah, same here. I hear most of the demos on YouTube. Mainly because there really aren't any guitar stores and things like that where I live. So there's no... Like, the nearest guitar center is in a different state. I think there might be one in Denver, 6 hours away. Oh, really? I never saw Rhett Shull recommend it. I must have missed that, but that's interesting. Actually, I feel like... Yeah, I feel like this way would be better. I'm trying to plot out the direction of my wires. Yeah, I watched the Andy Tone Report demo of the Blessed Mother, and I was like, God, this thing is just incredible. It's so crisp, so light sounding. The Immaculator knob, or whatever the heck it's called, is just genius. Very, very impressed. And then I've seen the inside of the pedal too. Not any diagrams or anything, just like took a quick glance at the parts that she was using. Of course, all high quality. Perhaps even higher quality than she needed. But, spare no expense for the good stuff kind of ethos, I think. There you go. Okay, and on that side, come on. There you go. Let's see. So, how was everybody's Sunday so far? I know it's the last of the days off, usually. Everyone's coming home from church or getting sober or whatever it is you do. You lived in Boise for a number of years. And that was the only Guitar Center other than Salt Lake City or Portland. Portland, wow. They have 3 Guitar Centers? Yeah. You try to strive for watching, or for shopping local. Ronin 03G. What up, what up? Welcome. I'm glad you're having a good day. Okay, there we go. So, I'm going to do these back wires now. Let's see, how do I want to do it? I want them going this way. And once I do these back wires that go to the different outputs, inputs, and pedal and all that stuff. Let's see. So you just ate some Ring of Fire jerky and you regret everything. Oh my god. As someone who has terrible, horrible, like debilitating heartburn constantly, I can only imagine. Oop, I need black is what I need. Yes, please do explain. What is the Ring of Fire jerky? Is that a brand? Sauce flavoring? Yes, everybody, I think, needs more days off. And then... okay. Yeah, inquiring minds like to know about the Ring of Fire jerky. And where do you get it? Just even thinking about it, I feel like I need to get some heartburn medicine. It's the hottest jerky that this local place makes. My nose is watering like a hose. Whoosh! Yeah, I'm with Scott. Is it habanero or is it like ghost pepper? Yeah, I can't do hot things anymore. I just can't. I used to be perfectly fine with them. Even before the heartburn, I don't know, I can't do it anymore. Maybe I'm a wuss. I'll have to open up my wallet and see if my man card is still in there, you know? There's like pepper, hot stuff, and this one has discolored meat. It's made of imp or something. Oh my word. Is it the Ring of Fire or the Wrath of Fire? Oh. You gonna hold? I can honestly say I've never had imp meat jerky before. That is intense. I mean, at least to the best of my knowledge, I've never had that, because when I was overseas, particularly in Asia, a lot of the times I didn't really know what I was eating over there. Sometimes I did. Other times it was like, I don't know, I'll take item number 37 on the menu. And I get something that's still wiggling at me. It's like, oh, okay, it's fresh. This $10 bag will last anyone a lifetime. Is it because it shortens your lifespan? Or because you just don't want to eat it anymore? It won't degrade? Holy cow. That's intense. If you go through Boise in August, habanero season, they make 3 stages of habanero pizza. Ooh, interesting. I think Guy Fieri filmed an episode there. I would believe it. That's kind of his, it's kind of his bag. Does the jerky have a half-life? Yes. Does the jerky have a half-life? I don't know. He said it doesn't degrade. Have you taken a Geiger counter to it? This is important information. We need to know, man. My word. So these are on. I need to look for some switches real quick, and I got a whole basket full of baggies. So, not that. Not that. Not that one either. You know what? I might not have the correct switches for this thing. Which surprises me. What is this? An 8-pole? Another 8-pole. Wow. Because the type of toggle switch I need for this is a 3-position on. And I guess I don't have any. I'm going to check one more place. 501 years. Fungus can't decompose it. So that's the half-life, huh? Okay, I'm gonna check one more place. See if I can't find a switch. Let's see. Alexa, play music by decimals. Diodes. A whole slew of Zener diodes. This is what I was looking for. I hope. Some switches. Negatron. Okay. Well, it looks like we aren't going to get to test it today, unfortunately. We don't have the right switches. Oh well. I tried. That's a bummer. Ugh. Almost done with your project too? You said you were working on guitars. That is exciting. Oh well, c'est la vie. I could at least put the knobs on here. Or the potentiometers, rather. So I need 1 mega, 100K, 20K. 100, 1 mega, and a 20. Here's the 20. And as per usual, I'm going to test these out before I stick them on. Always test out your components. 1 hundo. So, need the voltmeter. I call it a voltmeter, but it's multimeter. You all know what I mean. Because it could do a lot. Let's put these suckers on here. Whoops, I must have left it on last night. It went into sleep mode. Because it just turned on its own. Okay, so let's start out with this bad boy. This should read 20K. And check this out. These, here we go. These have a little hook that comes out, and so whatever it is you're trying to clamp onto, it'll clamp on just fine, like so. Okay, so this is 20K. Ooh, almost exactly. Perfect. This should read 100. Okay, yes, good. And this one, 1 mega ohm. Or generally just super high. Yep, there we go. So those check out. I know, aren't they? My dad actually got me a pack of test leads. And it just came with all kinds. And these are probably my favorite. Followed closely by this a tweezer looking thing. One side's positive, the other side's negative. And so you could just pinch like that and test whatever it is you need to test. It's genius. Okay, I say we start with the middle one, the 20K. Yes, both of those are very handy. And he just got on Amazon, and I think he just searched for multimeter test leads and whatnot. There's this, it just came in a whole pack with a whole bunch of different kinds of test leads, and they're great. Aha! Let me show everybody some dangers here of not thinking about what you're going to solder first, because I need to solder these three little holes right in front of my finger there, but as you can see, they're surrounded on either side by the ICs, so it's going to be a real pain in the butt to get the soldering iron in there. So wish me luck. Use my helping hand to kind of prop it up just a little bit. Actually, before I'm so glad I saw this. Some of these potentiometers have, let's see if you can see it right here. I don't know how well you can see it. There you go. You see how it sticks up? I need to take that off, because some potentiometers, what they do is they have that little notch there, so that in the enclosure you can drill that little notch into the enclosure, so when it goes in, it's locked into place. That will mess me up, because if the rest of them don't have it and I start tightening the screw up top, it'll just twist it sideways like that. So to get rid of that little tab, just take any old pliers, needle nose or otherwise, and just kind of rip it right off. Yeah, I'm glad I noticed that before I put it on here, because it's real hard to get the, you know, the, what's the word I'm looking for, like the torsion to be able to rip it off while it's on here and not mess up something on the board itself, or just really bend these out of whack. That's how you solve pimples. You just you just take any pliers, needle nose or otherwise, it just field adjusted. Yes. Okay. Now we will try this again. I'll use my helping hands to try and prop it up just a skosh. Come on. There we go. And for those of you that missed the live stream last night, I was talking about when putting these on, I like to just solder one of the legs and then look at it as a whole, make sure it's nice and straight. Because if you solder all three of the legs and then you have to make an adjustment, like, you might be out of luck, you might have to desolder it, pull it out. But if you just solder one of the legs, it'll stay in place, and then you can manipulate it just a little bit and then solder the rest when it's perfect. So one at a time is key for saving you some time. Let's just put it like that. Okay. So I did the one leg. Now I'm going to make sure that it's perfectly up and down, not tilting one way or the other. It's actually kind of tilting forward, so I'm going to kind of pull it back a little bit like this, so I can make sure it's nice and straight with the board. Because once I drill the holes in the enclosure, I'm not going to move the holes anymore. Otherwise, you know, the enclosure's just done. So I got to make sure that this is lined up to where it will actually go in the holes properly. You know how it do. So now that I got it adjusted, let's go ahead and fill in the other two legs with solder. Actually, I'm gonna, because I hold the soldering iron in my right hand, I'm gonna flip this around, that way it's a better angle, so it'll burn and icy. There we go. That wasn't so bad. All I can picture now is Ronan getting rid of pimples of one of these. Oh. So this is the 100, and then I'll go over here. So now that I have one set in place, I'm going to have to try and match all the rest of them with its height and level and all that. Again, using the helping hands to kind of prop this thing up a little bit. They really are very helpful. Good boys. Okay. Got the one leg soldered, so now I can manipulate it just a little bit. Should I need to. It's actually decently level. I think it's pretty good where it is. Sorry, the sunlight is hitting me right here in the eye. And I do not have curtains on that window. But I shall soldier on. Anybody have any cool plans for Halloween? Any cool costumes or parties to attend? I like this time of year, but it's getting a little scary out there. I'm afraid. It's dark, hold me. No plans there, Ronan? That's about good right there, maybe. Interesting. This one seems to be sticking up further than the rest of them. No, I don't have any plans either. Boy, what a rousing discussion this has been. Anybody have any plans? No. I don't know. I get excited for this time of year because, you know, costumes and culture and all that. But it's getting kind of scary out there in the world. So I got the one leg in there. That looks about right, I suppose. All right. Yeah. So, except for that toggle switch, that's going to go right here, right up there. Everything except for that toggle switch is done. So this is basically it. God, I do wish I had a switch for it. But if I put anything else on that's, you know, the wrong switch, then it's just not going to work properly. I'll get 2 of the 3 options, or... Oh, is that straight? Yeah. Cool. Well, I dig it. It's done. Let's go ahead and work on a second one. Oh, there's the bag. So yesterday I was working on the Resurrect, the Mesa Boogie in a box, and I was actually able to test it right behind me in this little test platform. You can kind of see it right here. It's all plugged in right now, so that's why I can't lift it very high. But you know, I was all excited, and I'm like, oh, let's test this bad boy out, you know. Everyone in stream is waiting. And first off, Siri, the wonderful, wonderful assistant for Apple, kicked me off my live stream because it thought I wanted to talk to it. And I thought I turned it off. But I guess when you update your iPad, it comes back on. So anyway. Once everyone got back on, I'm like, okay, guys, I'm all set up. I'm all ready. Let's go ahead and test this thing. And nothing. So here's my clean-tone. Bring, bring, bring. Okay, cool. Then I turned on the pedal. Nothing. Oh, my God, this is so disappointing. You know, what did I do wrong? So I'm like, maybe it's the fuse on the tester. So I swapped out the fuse. And ring, nothing. oh my god, what's going on? And then I remembered, like a dummy, you see right here in the middle, those little chips right there? Well, there were 3 of them on the other pedal that I didn't put in. So of course nothing was working. Oh, I was so upset at myself because it's like, man, you're dumb. You're D-U-M dumb. But it ended up working, and it sounds crazy. Like, I don't know. I think it sounded pretty good. Once I get it in an enclosure, all the noise, the feedback, and stuff like that will go away. See those chips? Points at the biggest thing on the board. Yeah. Well, I mean, some people don't know what the different parts are. Like, okay, Ronan, okay. Point out all the capacitors. That's what I thought. You know? But, I mean, yeah, you're right. They are the biggest thing. You see that? The biggest thing? Those are the capacitors. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is, once again, the sockets for the ICs for those chips. I need the help of gravity, so that's why it is off screen for the moment. But once I get the corners settled, I can bring it all onto the camera's view. Okay, there we go. See, I slotted in these sockets right here. And for those of you that don't know or are new, the reason why we use those sockets instead of just soldering all the pins of the those ICs or the integrated chips directly on there is if the chip itself is bad, instead of desoldering 8 pins to take it out and making a big mess, we just solder these sockets in so we can plug one in just if we need to replace it. It's much easier and safer for the circuit. This way you won't make a huge mess trying to desolder so many pins. You know, it's a little bit of an extra step, but it saves you a lot of time and heartache. Okay. Yeah. So, me and one of our viewers last night, we were talking about Schecter guitars, and it's gotten me curious. What are some of your guys' favorite guitar brands, if you have one? If not, like, what's a guitar brand that you would like to try? He was talking about Schecter, and I'm like, ooh, I love me some Schecter. I do. It was my first guitar ever. I had a Schecter. It was a Schecter Omen. Omen 6 Diamond Series. You'd like to try Reza guitars? Aw. Well, thanks. Got stuff in the works, speaking of which. That's awesome. So then I guess besides, well, not besides, I'm curious what everybody else would wanna play. 330R, 330 ohms. Okay. Now we got some 1K resistors we gotta throw on this bad boy. Has everyone seen? Has anyone here watching right now not seen the new guitars that we got in? They are single cut shaped. Because if some of you haven't seen it, then I'll whip out some of the parts we got right now and show you guys. It's a bit of a treat. But I don't know who all has and who hasn't seen it yet, because I revealed it on an earlier stream a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was less than a couple weeks ago. Show us? Okay. I'll show you. Let me just finish up these resistors real quick so I don't lose my place. And then I'll get it. But I think you guys are going to be pretty pleasantly surprised. Or at least excited. I got one more to throw on here. Okay. This is the last of the 1K resistors. Hi. Ooh. We actually have a surprise right here. Let's show 'em. Ugh. So, is it dry? Totally? Okay. So this is something that my dad has been working on. Let me get all of this out of the way. It's mahogany body, full mahogany, all 100%. Firebird style body. Oh my goodness. Ooh, yeah. It feels, oh god, this feels so smooth. Are you sure it's dry?
It's dry.
Or were you wiping it down with something?
You did dry.
You might have to leave it in the sun a little bit longer. Okay.
There's not enough sun.
97.5% mahogany. Well, that was one of the projects we've been working on. My dad pretty much did all of that. This is his baby. He chose the colors. It's tiger orange and scarlet pearlescence mixed in with the spray-on stuff. Was it locally sourced? Yeah, and it was a pretty penny. There's a place in Gillette called Blowdorn Lumber. I think I might go to... by the way, Gillette is like 50 minutes away, 45, 50 minutes away. It's the nearest town. I think I might go all the way to Rapid City, South Dakota for some different wood purchases, but let me get the guitar I was going to show you guys. And I'm going to get the hardware accoutrements to go with it, because I think this thing's going to be killer. Okay. So it is a single cut, made with Zebrano, Oh yeah. Look at this bad boy. It's got binding on it and everything. I'm a bit too quiet. Am I quiet now? Somebody helped us with the binding because we don't particularly have the means for that just yet. And it is all Zebrano, 100%, all of it, all the way to the top of the headstock. And the stuff we are going to put on it, and if anybody knows anything about Zebrano, it is notoriously difficult to work with because it splinters between the two different colors of wood. And what we're going to do with all of the hardware is, you see, this is a gold set and this is a black set, but we're of tuners, locking tuners. But what we're going to do actually is alternate gold and black on everything. So like up here on the headstock, it'll be gold, black, gold, black, gold, black. You know, for the tuners, and then same thing with the screws, same thing with the knobs, same thing with the bridges. Everything's going to alternate between black and gold. And they are going to have these killer P90s that are also going to alternate. One will have a gold neck pickup and a black bridge pickup, and then it'll be reversed on the other one. But look at this. Oh, that's the gold one right there. And these things sound so sweet. They sound so good. And then let me pull out the black one. It's kind of like a tuxedo look, because it's black with white pearlescence. Or not pearlescence, what do they call that? Pearloid? Clean, yeah. So, that is one of the future projects once we finish that Firebird that you actually just saw. Yep. So everything's going to alternate between black and gold. You're going to go eat and go to sleep? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, Ashley. Always a pleasure. I will see you next time. Get some rest. I know you've been up all night doing night shifts. So yeah, we're pretty excited. It should be said that I have two of these, which is why all the stuff we got is going to alternate black and white, or I mean black and gold. Oh, okay, I gotcha. So, let me put all this stuff back. Oops. I don't need that being shoved all the way in the back. So I don't know. What do you guys think? 'Cause we're pretty excited. Ugh. Okay. So now that we had that little side diversion, which hope kind of excited some people. It really is like exciting for us. Let's get back to the pedalette hand. Gonna need to put on my gloves. Alright. Squirrel. What? Why? Because it was so shiny? Shiny thing turned your head, got you some whiplash. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So let's continue. Looking forward to those guitars being built. Yeah. In the past, I think, who was it? I think it was James. Whiskey Mike. I think he was asking, will it be ready for Christmas? And I can't guarantee anything just because of the nature of, our day jobs. But I'm actually going to make a concerted push for that. Trying to be done by Christmas time. And since we've never shipped a guitar before, we went and talked to the local UPS people, gave them weights and dimensions and stuff like that, see how much it would be for shipping, and their best estimate was about $60, which actually isn't that bad. Like I thought it'd be a ton. Thanks, man. I think they will be good looking guitars because once we get the grain fillers and polishes and everything on there, it should look killer. That style of guitar we're going to call the Resolute, by the way. Lute as in, the medieval instrument. Because it's a portmanteau of resolute, yeah? Oh, that'd be real cool. I'd love to jam with you, man. I mean, I would definitely, what's it called? I would definitely, practice on my way, or on leading up to that event. I would have to practice because I get real nervous playing in front of other people, particularly on a stream or something. So I just sound very bad. But when I'm noodling on my own, it's it's decent. It's okay playing. But when I have to play to a purpose or with somebody, I get real nervous and just get stupid fingers. I get some of them silly fingers. But yeah, I'd totally love to jam with any one of you guys. Okay, so we left off on 1K resistors. Let's see what comes next. 4.7, and I need 2 of these bad boys. Solid. But yeah, anybody ever experienced that themselves? I posted a funny video on the Jump about, this guy's like, okay, I need to record myself, so here's my practice. And he goes, okay, I'm done with my practice, now let me record. As soon as he hits record, he just collapses. So does anybody experience that kind of thing? You could play totally fine until it counts. Kind of thing. Because that's 100% me. Yeah, it happens to you, Scott, all the time. I don't know though. I've seen some of your videos on YouTube, and you're pretty good. There was that one metal show that you were featured on not too long ago, like a couple months ago, right? You went to play bass, and that simplified things. You so fuzz plays you do, but it doesn't bother you. I made an ass of myself so many times on stage; it doesn't faze me anymore. Metalhead Hippie, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, Scott, you've got some pretty songs. Uh, 47K, I could probably squeeze that on here. So yeah, if anybody on here hasn't seen that, look up Scott Kidwell music on the Metal Hippie. I think I think that would probably take you to where you need to go, but see, Fuzz Place. He also agrees. Okay, let's get some of these done. Clipped. Yeah. By the way, I really appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. I know I've tried live streaming several times, and there's always some kind of disaster that befalls the stream. It kicks people out. Siri decides to kick people out. Somebody gives me a phone call and it kicks me out. And, it's been an uphill battle, it feels like. I am taking steps to essentially get a better quality stream going. Like, I've got a laptop that I'm trying to convert into a streaming machine. I find Streamlabs to be inscrutable, personally. So, I need to learn the new systems, and also the screen's real small, so that's an issue. I might just have to get a whole brand new computer. Bigger, better one, but Scott Kidwell Music on YouTube, yes. Check him out. Check him out, you guys. Good music. Even just the little bits of playing that you did with the demo of the black hole symmetry. First off, that pedal's great. Like, I really like that pedal. But even just the little noodling that you do on there, it's like, you know what you're doing with a guitar. You know how to play. Not bad for an old guy, a guitar and a camera. Okay, where did I leave off? Yep, 100K, then 1 meg, and then 10 meg. Looks like my dad might be done for the day with his projects. Yeah, I'm super proud of my dad. He's doing some killer stuff. And the cool thing is it it excites both of us. It's real cool to share that bond. Dad's rule, yeah. The BHS is insane. The black hole symmetry. I recently picked up the Ranch from Collision Devices 2. I'm not a smart man. Why, is the Ranch bad? Or are you just saying you're falling into the trap of buying stuff? I wonder what the Ranch is. If I had to guess, probably some kind of drive down the rabbit hole. Yes, 100%. Anyone who's ever bought musical gear, that's where we all live. It's kind of like that Billy Joel song, Piano Man, except instead of sharing a drink called loneliness is better than drinking alone. Just replace loneliness with crippling debt, with obsession. All the all the tags that we could probably put on ourselves. You're cutting down on your pedal buying because you gotta save for a guitar. Wink. That's another thing about the Heather Electronicals Blessed Mother. I so wanted that one, but it was right around the time when I started making pedals, and I was like, I can't justify getting more pedals because I make them now. A tremolo which oscillates depending on how hard one digs in. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Huh. So I wonder if it's kind of got this filtering like an Ottawa, That's interesting. A trem is actually something I've been kind of looking into in the future, doing a tremolo. I mean, I've got dozens and dozens of projects in front of me. So it's kind of one of those, probably several months down the road kind of thing. Again, the day job is very demanding. But yeah, I'd like to see a demo of that one. The Ranch. The drive circuit is pretty good on it too. Oh, so it's got a drive. Cool. Okay, so we got all the resistors on there. Let's move on to diodes. So, got a bunch of silicone diodes. The 1N5817 is just to keep polarity integrity, essentially, on the circuit. You'll post a picture? Sweet. Oh, Nathan! What up, my man? You're gonna do a trem? Sweet! If anybody doesn't know Nathan, he is the Nathan Personius of NSPFX. The titular Nathan. And all the pedals he touches turn to gold. Silk, gold, everything. My man. What? Nathan the Resistor Whisperer, that's right. Yeah, because in that previous stream where I was putting on resistors, I was like, oh, I'm going to put 47K next, and then you just whip out the color code on the resistor. It's like, holy cow, how do you memorize these things? Analog tremolo, yes, of course. I mean, analog is your realm. Oh, debating on whether you're gonna use tubes or FETs. Like actual tubes? That sounds like a dumb question. I bet the answer is both, Nathan the Analog Man. I still remember what you said when I was like, oh, I don't know when I'll be able to make the Nebulous next because the chip shortage worldwide. I'll take reasons I stick to analog for 400, Alex. 12AX7. Doing both at the same time. Yeah. Okay, let's get these all soldered up. Speaking of which, everybody, the Nebulist, the Spin Semiconductor SP1 1001-FV1 super chip that I use in the Nebulist has come back in stock in one of the stores that I frequently check. So, I essentially ordered 20 of them bad boys, along with 20 programmed EEPROMs for it. With tubes losing production, wouldn't FETs be a wiser choice? There's something to be said about that, but I don't think that tubes will ever be out of style because, like, look at guitars, for example. You can get like a 1960 something original Les Paul, and it's a piece of junk. It's 10,000 pounds, super heavy. The electronics are falling apart. It looks like a piece of junk, but the whole world loses its mind trying to get one for $50,000-$60,000 or whatever it might be, because it's original and has history and things like that. It's the same thing with tubes. I don't think tubes will ever go out of style because people just like the old stuff. Because what's the stuff that we listened to growing up when we start falling in love with various types of musics and sounds and things like that? It's all the oldie stuff. So when we start playing guitar by ourselves, or for ourselves rather, we want to emulate those old tones, and some people think I need the old stuff to emulate the old tones, therefore I don't think tubes will ever go away. Analog taking a hit though now, really. Impossible to find J201s. Oh, I don't know if they're properly spec'd. I haven't gotten them in yet, but I noticed that J201s are hard to find. I ordered a couple packs of them, but they'll be here in mid-November. So I feel you there. 2M54, 57s. I think I went through that same loop as well. Can skate by with 2N54, 58s in most applications, but not all. Yeah, we were having that discussion between those two, right? Because I think the ones that I got, the 57s that I got in, were actually lower spec than they should have been. There is a warmth, literal and figurative, with tube power equipment, you're right. It's a lot about the feel and, like there was a recent Andertons video. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Andertons Music Company over in the UK. They do Andertons TV on YouTube, where they, preview a lot of their products and stuff. Real good guys. Very informative, but they just recently came out with a Magnatone episode, Magnatone amps, and tubes burn my tongue. Is it because you're licking them? But yeah, one of the guys, Peter Honore, if you don't know who that is, look him up. Real great player, worked with Tom Jones and toured with other people around the world, but he was saying that, like, he got so excited. He was like the most excited little boy I've ever seen. And he's like, I can't believe we're talking about this tube amp right now. It's just, you know. And they're talking about, yeah, Danish Pete. Yeah. The feel of just being present in front of the amp is just, you know, actually feeling the vibrations go through your chest. It's primal. It's like necessary and things like that. But you don't tend to get that even with cranking up a solid state amp real loud. Yes, magnetones really are impressive. I was looking up online on Reverb. I was like, oh, let's see what it costs. Okay, it costs $3,000 for this model that I want. Cool. I hit the watch button, you know, the little star icon, and the vendor saw that I was watching it, so he sent me an offer. He's like, hey, $300 off, or $400, or whatever it was, and but the offer expires within 24 hours. I was like, I don't have that money right now, but I can't pass up that deal, so I bought it. It should be coming Wednesday, I think, so I'll get a magnetone. Tubes have a squish and sag when you dig in, yes. Dynamic when you play it. It's more for the player than the listener. That's a good way of putting it. It's more for the player. Yes, Pete's emotions were through the roof. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be coming in on Wednesday. It's coming up from where they're built down in St. Louis. So it's not too terribly far away from Wyoming. Okay, so I need the LEDs. I think I was gonna keep it on this side, yeah. Come on. There you go. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Because if you ever ask anybody, the general consensus is, like, if you ask, should I have a better, more expensive amp and a cheaper guitar, or should I get an expensive guitar and a cheaper amp? Like, I want to see what you guys think about it, but there is a universal consensus that I'm going to talk about once you guys give your votes. But what do you think is better? More expensive amp or a more expensive guitar? Oh yeah, you were talking about the Koch Jupiter 45. Has the 12 AX7s. In both the preamp and the power amp, huh? Coming from high voltage FETs. Nathan, I'm getting more and more stoked the more I listen to the sound samples. Stoked. Amplifier. Okay, got it. Which sound samples? About the magnetone or about the... Okay. But, to get... While you guys are Still chatting to get back to my my FV1 super chip thing. Yeah, I ordered 20 of them. So the Nebulist is coming back, baby, and it's coming back in force. It was an expensive investment, but that's my best-selling pedal so far. So, yeah, I'm getting 20 of them. Scott thinks a better amp is the wiser choice, keeping in mind that both the guitar and amp are pretty much a set. Yes. Can't make music without the guitar or the amp. I suppose you can. Just, you can't enjoy the point, like, might as well get an acoustic if you don't have the amp. Because then it's just more viable. I played through the Valve Train at the local shop last week. Holy cow. Is that, I'm unfamiliar with the Valve Train. But Scott's vote is better amp. The final sound is coming from the amplifier. If you got a crappy or cheap sounding amplifier, it's going to sound cheap. This is very true. So it sounds like, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but it sounds like 2 votes for quality amp over quality guitar. Okay, so I got all the diodes in. Let's go ahead and do the capacitors. 56, not 56, is it? Yeah, 56 picofarads. Jack White makes a living out of playing crap guitars. The only guitar I've ever seen of his, it had the B bender on it, and he kept modifying it and modifying it some more, and it just had all kinds of weird wonky things on it. I'm not a huge fan of that B bender thing. Like, I don't know. That's a lot to do for just bending one string. You're impressed with the Valve Train. Unless I'm playing, then no matter what it goes through, it'll still sound like crap. Oh, that's me. That's me to a T. It was loud at 20%. That's how the Magnetone is. Excuse me. There's no like gain channel, but from like 1 to 2, it gets incredibly loud, and by like 3 o'clock you've already hit unity gain. I'm sorry, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Sorry, you've already hit unity gain, and the rest of it is just what's called it's just breakup from lack of headroom. Although there is a ton of headroom, so it gets super loud. Think you need to spend the time and choose a good amp. My Katana sounds better than a lot of tube amps I've played, just not as dynamic to play. I would agree. I also have a Katana. I got the Mark II. Was it the 50 or the 25? I think it was the 50 that I have. It's a good amp. Your Katana sits at a local studio. Just for something versatile, ease of hauling, yes. I mean, I have absolutely no problems with modeling amps with solid state amps. I mean, you just look at the difference in the technology between a transistor and a tube. You know, they effectively do the same thing, just one is way more efficient than the other. But again, there's something about that impedance the actual feel of, you know, what's going on with a tube amp. That's just really cool. You also put an Eminence Wizard in yours. Yours is a Katana 50 Mark 1, and mine's Mark 2. The 50 is the only one that needs a speaker upgrade. You think so? Because I don't know. I think the speaker's really good as is. You've got the same one as Nathan. Original speaker sounds like I need to put a speaker in it. Huh. I don't know. I like mine. Maybe I'm just not as sophisticated as others. My current main guitar amp is a Fender Excelsior. I have a Marshall G15 CD and a Line 6 Spider 475 that it really gets played these days. The last time I had a Line 6 was because I think it was also a Line 6 Spider 4, but it was like maybe 15 watts, I don't remember, but it was back in like 2000 and maybe like 2010, I don't know. Wizard is a hybrid of the Greenback V30, and it is very similar to the Wazacraft speaker. The Wizard Eminence, or the Eminence Wizard. Okay. .33 nano. Should be 47 nano. Oops. The tape wanted to come with the capacitor. The weird killer thing, I don't know if you guys have heard a sound demo of Magnetone, but it's killer. It's super clean, very good headroom. But the thing that surprises me most is in that one, it's got a ceramic speaker. And, you know, a lot of people think that, the ceramic is lower quality, this and that. Well, listen to the Magnetone. It's incredible. It is cheaper to make ceramic magnets. But, I don't know, it just sounds so good. It sounds so good. It's like a super clean, super high headroom American style amp, so think like your Fender reverbs and whatnot. I like everything. That's a good attitude. Anybody doing a speaker swap in a Katana 50, message me because there's some issues you may run into. That was NSPFX, aka Nathan Personius. I do not plan on swapping my speaker, just because I think it sounds fine. I'm sure there are better ones out there, but I also tend to play my Katana with headphones because that's the one that's directly in my bedroom. So when everyone else is asleep, I use headphones. So you working on anything tonight, Nathan, or you just chilling? Because I know you're pretty prolific. More so than me, for sure. If I have to play quiet, I go through the Iridium and headphones. I thought the Iridium was a really dirty, like distortion pedal. What is the Iridium you're talking about? Because I might just be confusing with something else. Is that like your direct in, putting the kids to bed soon, and then finishing 2 conciliary circuit boards before your new printed PCBs come in? Oh, so excited for you, dude. An IR simulator, okay. So what am I thinking of? It was on... The thing that I'm thinking of was on a JHS episode about, like, distortion boxes you need to have heard of or something like that. Strymon makes it, huh? Some other kind of heavy metal is what I'm thinking of. Like, literally heavy metal on the periodic table. Yo, John's here. What up? Better late than never, yeah. So, John, today I am working on some drive pedals that have different clippings. I got asymmetrical, silicone, LED, and this is the one that I described as like it's similar to the plumes, or Quaker Devices plumes, because they have the same types of different clippings as well. And there's like 100 other pedals out there with the same type of clippings. Like I think Drunk Beaver pedals, I think they have one. Well, they have several, but it's called like the Bat. There's several versions of the Bat out there. There's a Civil War version and so on and so forth, and he's got pretty similar kind of clipping. You could drive it to distortion, but it doesn't do good things for your tinnitus. I suffer from that too. I don't know what silence sounds like. I mean, other than the Simon and Garfunkel song. Yes. Basically, it is a tube screamer. Absolutely. I'm using red LEDs for the LED clipping. You have 2 kids, you don't know what silence sounds like either. Oh, that is so true. That's funny. You're so funny. Okay. I'm almost done with this one. I just got the electrolytics. And then if I wanted to, I could put on the potentiometers and everything on now too. Which I think it will. Why not? I just, got all the... I pre-tested and grabbed everything that I need for it, put it in this little tackle box looking thing. Got it all set up, but I didn't I didn't test any of the pots because I wasn't planning on putting the pots in just yet. So if I go grab some, I'll have to test them first. You feel that, Nathan? Though your kids are in the late 20s, quiet or relative quiet comes eventually. Hi, doggies. Yes, I agree too. I think it's kind of like the standard, isn't it, though? Red LEDs for the clipping. Too high forward voltage, so it just, yeah. Hello, calls me Mr. Clean. Welcome to the stream. Right now I am making essentially a three-voiced tube screamer, if you know what that is. Drive pedal, it's going to have three different types of clippings. I got asymmetrical, I got silicone, and LED clipping. Your son's 5, daughter's 2, stay-at-home dad by day, mad scientist engineer by night. Only the maddest of scientists. And your creations are just killer. Calls me Mr. Clean. Are you familiar with guitar pedals and whatnot? You play? Actually, they're not even just guitar pedals. They're effect pedals in general. Put anything through them. Grass clippings, hair clippings, news clippings. It's got all the clippings. You've seen a few. And yes, all the best scientists are mad. Rock on, rock on. Oh, yeah. I was going to test this one earlier today, but I am missing... What was I missing? Oh, I was missing the three-way switch. So, yeah, apparently I don't have any on-on-on switches. Could have sworn I did, but I must have used them all. So without the selector switch to choose what type of clipping this thing's going to have, I cannot test it. So now I'm just flying through some of these. Raise your hand if you are ready for the work week, because I'm not. Although my work weeks are a little bit funky and strange. I start my 4 day shifts tomorrow. Which you might be thinking, oh, 4, that's not bad. Yeah, but it's 13-hour shifts, so. Checking out the Makers and Crafting, cool. Always glad to see new people around. Always glad to see people checking out other things than gaming too. 'Cause, yeah, I don't know. There's some pretty cool projects out there that people are doing on Twitch, whether it's like wood burning or even Lego stuff. It's pretty cool. I do recommend just going out and checking it out. Holiday tomorrow, Mr. Stay-at-home Dad. Is it really a holiday? No, it's not. I had to think about that for a second. The guy who invented the microphone is from your hometown, really? Ooh, that would be a good one to watch. Glass blowers. That would be a good one to watch. Giving me ideas. I wish I had internet out where I worked. Because then I could watch all the cool projects. Okay. So I'm going to be done with this one for now. I'll put the potentiometers on there later. But in case anyone wants to see what it looks like, fully completed with the potentiometers. Hopefully it's not too washed out and bright, but there we go. So, on to numéro 3. I hope my attempt at French was not upsetting to anybody. I only had one semester of French way back when. Alexa, play music by Decimals. Circuit looks good. I hope so. This one, yeah, it came out real clean. Everything fit just perfect. I don't know how well it's going to focus, but yeah, it came out real clean. I like it. There's a glass blowing co-op in Louisville, Kentucky, and you could watch them work behind a window. That's pretty cool. You can come take a tour of one of the coal mines out here that I work on, but I don't think it's nearly as glamorous as glass blowing, which I think is pretty rad. Okay, so once I get these sockets started here, I'll be able to put the circuit back up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright. So I'm going to start out by putting these sockets in there as per usual. And what the sockets are for, in case you don't know, there are these chips. You can see them right there. We slot them right on in there instead of having to solder all the legs. And then, you know, if your chip is bad, then you would have to desolder all 8 legs. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a lot of heartache and everything. So these sockets are there to help you out. You just plug and unplug the different chips. Makes life much easier. And for those of you that are new, right now we are listening to a band called Decimals. They are a Spanish group. They do like kind of conceptual albums. Like this album is kind of a space journey or something like that. With you know, like somebody finding some kind of a portal or rift in space-time, and then they get slung through, and then you kind of piece together, you know, like the little adventure that they have, narrowly escaping death and whatnot. But yeah, these guys are pretty good. Decimals. Cool. Alright. So once again, let's get started with the resistors. Does anybody have any vacation planned coming up? Gonna go anywhere special for the holidays, for the holiday seasons? Travel anywhere in particular? $330 R. Slot that right there. For each 1K resistors. No plans, John? That's fair enough. I never have any plans for vacations and whatnot. It just never comes to mind. My vacations always end up being staycations anyway. It's like, do I want to go somewhere else? I don't know, it's kind of tedious. I'll be constantly tired. I'll want to do a lot of things but not feel like doing them. I don't know, bit of a double-edged sword when I travel. Which these days isn't very often. So 1K resistors almost done. I'll solder this bad boy. Pack, drive, 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 rest, drive, reach destination, unpack, fall asleep, eat dinner, fall asleep. I feel you, Scott. See, you get me. That's why if I ever plan a vacation like that, and there are like 3 days worth of activities to do, you know, like certain sites to see and like, I don't know, zoos or family fun centers or whatever there happens to be, the attractions. If there are 3 days worth of that stuff, I will probably try and take a vacation for like 6 or 7 days so that I could do things at a leisurely pace. Bus driver holidays, yeah. Because, I mean, it's a lot of work, actually. You gotta give yourself extra time to enjoy things, because, you know, if you're feeling rushed constantly, it's just one big anxiety headache. You usually do something as a family for spring break. Cool. You like to go on hiking trips? I need to go on more hiking trips. I am horrendously out of shape. My job is, you know, I sit in a haul truck for 13 hours. Sure, it's the size of a 2-story house, but I'm just sitting for those 13 hours, and so it's a very sedentary lifestyle. You don't get any exercise, but you do get tenderized, that's for sure. Massive potholes with 400-ton trucks. Winter break ski trips, yeah. Round is a shape, yeah. Yeah, baby. I still remember the very first time I heard Homer Simpson say, "Round is a shape." So there go the 1K, 4.7K resistors. See, I'm afraid these days to do anything as cool as, you know, like a ski trip and things like that, because I know I'm going to hurt myself. Let's get these 4.7s on here before I start mixing up my resistors. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I was young again. That's all I gotta say. I'm only 33, but feel much, much older. Been a little hard on my body. I am young, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that my body can handle things anymore. But did I put the 100K on here? No, I didn't. I must have dropped a resistor somewhere. It's not the age, it's the mileage, yeah. And that, yeah, actually that's a good way of putting it. Because I mean, my car could be like 2 years old, but that doesn't mean I didn't just put 200,000 miles on it. You'll trade me? Oh, I would. I mean, just thinking about my back, I can already feel it. Okay, something funny is going on here. I missed a resistor or something. So let me real quick take a look at the color code here. Those two are fine. Four point seven, good. Actually, I have a perfectly good one right here that I could compare. Yes, perfect, good. One, two, three. I guess I just skipped over the 10K. And the 47. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. I see what I did. I put in the 4.7Ks and then tried to move on to the next value, and my eyes went over the 47Ks and skipped over that. You used to be a mountain biker. Now you joke that you're a hill biker. Mountain kills me both going up and down. My odometer quit a long time ago. You have an odometer? As did my knees, back, elbows, neck, hand. Playing a Les Paul at the studio the last few days, helping a customer dial in what they want as far as a custom pedal goes, has me barely able to use your left shoulder. I'm telling you, Les Pauls are so heavy. The one Les Paul the one actual real Les Paul, as opposed to, like an Epiphone, that I picked up was stupid heavy. Easily like 5 pounds heavier than the Epiphone that was sitting right next to it. It blew my mind. Genuinely, it blew my mind. You still want a gold top? I personally don't like the gold color they use on Les Pauls. But I do have a gold Gretsch Jet, so it, the same shape as a Les Paul single cut gold top, but it's casino gold. It's the Gretsch gold, and I think it looks so much better personally. But it's all personal preference, so I mean, my likes are not your likes. They must use real gold. Yeah, no kidding. For the weight. And probably the cost. In your opinion, an Epiphone is a real Les Paul. I mean, yeah, you're right. But what I meant was the first time I held an actual Gibson Les Paul is what I meant. That's what I meant by real. I would agree. Absolutely nothing wrong with Epiphone. In fact, I kind of prefer them because then you don't get that hype over the cost. It's like, I don't know, one purse is just as good as a Dolce and Gabbana purse, that kind of thing. Just buying the branding. Blue guitars sound better. You will die on that sword, no mind changes. You had an Epiphone Casino in the late 80s, great guitar. You know, they're still good guitars. I believe most of the... I definitely know that the Beatles used an Epiphone Casino for a while. I mean, they used all kinds of guitars, but that was one of them. Yeah, casinos are cool. I got my dad an Epiphone Swingster. If you haven't seen those, look up an Epiphone Swingster. They're kind of like the hollow body Gretches. They are really cool. They sound incredible, and they don't have filtertrons, though they look like filtertrons. They have swing buckers. You can do parallel and series with both of them, so it's got a lot of voicings. It sounds so smooth. You have an Epiphone Century and love it. I actually don't know. Epiphone Emperor and SG. When it comes to hollow body guitars, the laminated guitars just sound better. Even the Gibson hollow bodies are laminated. I feel like they might have to be laminated just because of how thin they are. Laminated maple gets a pretty good sound out of hollow bodies. I've got my Gretsch 2420T. That's a good hollow body guitar. Mine is a deep walnut stain, and I call her Viridiana. Yeah, I'm one of those sick people that names their guitars. Many are solid? Huh. I don't know, all the ones I've messed with are all laminated. Not that I get to mess with so many of them. Looking at the Swingster now, really like the looks of it. The one that my dad has is this sparkly kind of forest green, and the binding is real chunky gold sparkles, and it looks killer. You bought a Guild Starfire last summer with a Bixby Surfs Up. You know those Guilds, I saw this comparison video that somebody did. I think he had a Guild Starfire, and then he also had one of the classic very Chet Atkinsy uh, 62, I forget the model number, but the Gretches. And then he had Gibson 335, and there was one other guitar in there. I think it had mini humbuckers, and he did a comparison of all of them, and they all had a little backstory. It was real cool to listen to. But I think, without question, the Gretsch with the true Filtertrons on there just blew all the rest out of the water. And the Guild was very. It was very. It had that sparkle on top, real spanky, you know. So yeah, Surf's Up for sure. Super, super spanky. My PRS has a wiggle bar good enough for me for surfing. A wiggle bar. Of all the guitars that I have tried to make surf sounds with, the J Mascis Jazzmaster that I have, which is a fantastic guitar. Sure, it's made by Squier, but it is made impeccably. It's one of those guitars that, like, straight out of the box, didn't have to change a thing on it. Just played perfectly, intonated perfectly. It outperforms most of the more expensive guitars that I have, which I'm not saying I have, like, you know, Gibson's lining my wall or anything, but it's one of the best guitars I own, and it was only $500. But that had a killer surf sound to it, especially when you activated the rhythm circuit, the thing that makes Jazzmasters, you know, awesome. Also, the feel of it is just really good. Like, the shape of a Jazzmaster is so comfortable to me. Not only does it have the standard Fender, you know, contour curves and everything, the belly cut, the arm cut, which makes a world of difference to me. That's another reason why I probably would never get a straight-up Les Paul. Not enough contours for me. It just rub my arm raw. But it feels so comfortable. I dig Jazzmasters. Well, specifically that one. Not to mention, it's J Mascis' Jazzmaster. Get a little Dinosaur Jr. in your life. Okay. Yeah. I'm almost done with this one too. Totally exciting. I actually I have to start creating a lot of enclosures here and start coming up with artworks, or, you know, just the design that's going to go on them. I don't have to do, you know, a full-blown piece of art for all of my things. I just kind of feel like I need to. I just think it looks better. But I have so many pedals that are, like, just about done. I've tested them and everything. Let's see. Everybody has their own views of what guitar should be like. Be proud of that and own the shit out of it. Here, let me show you guys all the stuff that I got ready. Yeah, I got tons here. Ugh. So, from some of my earlier Jump live streams, some of you who were there may remember that I did a Star Wars Attack of the Clones themed thing. Come on, get out of here. It's still washed out. If you can't read that, this is the Greedo shot first, which is the rat clone that I made. I got 5 of these bad boys already to be put in enclosures. I tested all of them. All sound pretty good. So I got my rat clones here that I need to Jan shot first. Han, okay. Yes, but that one is the Greedo shot first. The Han shot first. That's the percolator that I had you guys vote on what kind of clipping it was going to have. So we did basically like a public vote of how this should be voiced. And you guys chose, oh boy, I'm going to have to look at my notes from back then, but I forgot, it's been so long. But I got these harmonic percolators, these modified ones, all set to go in enclosures. So far I've done 5 Resurrects that are ready to be tested. I got 10 Apocalyptics all ready to go in enclosures, tested fully. And I got these 10 boost circuits that I decided to make. Just tiny little boost circuits that I can either add to an existing pedal and make it like a double feature, you know? Have whatever circuit here and then just add another foot switch to just add a boost. Or I could have these as a clean boost individually. So I haven't decided what to do with these just yet. They're there as a utility thing, or they could be their own pedals. So I've got a lot of things I need to put in enclosures. Times are exciting. Not enough hours in the day. But as some of you already know, the enclosures are my least liked part of the whole process. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff ready to go to the next step. But instead I've been focusing on making more. Here, I'll show you. Where did they go? Of course, they're on the bottom. Whoop. Oh boy. What are you? So these have the 250 89s. Come on, focus. I know you can do it. Pretty simple circuit. Just one 2N50 89. It should be pretty clean. Oh. Originally, I kind of had it as a is kind of a pseudo, what's it called, volume pedal for a coworker of mine. He had never used a pedal in his life, always just clean Telecaster out of a Fender style amp. Played cowboy tunes and whatnot. And he's like, hey, can you make like a volume pedal or something so that, you know, when I do a solo I could just kick it on and it'll get a little louder, and then when it goes back to rhythm he kicks it off and whatnot. And I was like, you mean a boost pedal? Yeah, I could probably do that. You may have to go back to work just so you can afford more pedals between me and Nathan. Aw. Thanks. I'd say more so Nathan's pedals. He the man. Okay, so what was I gonna do next? Next I got, oh yes, the capacitors. So now that I got a bunch of you sitting here, I like to ask toward the end of my streams, what would you guys like to see next out of Reza Guitars and Effects? And it doesn't even have to just be pedals. It could be, you know, types of guitars or whatever. Just so I can get a feel and a sense of what people want. I have mentioned that I am working on a fuzz, like a screaming mid-humped ram's head style fuzz, because I've been, you know, who doesn't like listening to a little bit of David Gilmour and his screaming solos? It's like, that's a good sound, I kind of want that. So I got one of those in the works. Just waiting on the proper transistors to come in. I've got it right here. But the transistors I got in this one are BC550Bs, and I need BC550Cs, which is higher gain. So I tried it with the Bs, and it sounds good. Not the thing I was going for. So I got this fuzz in the works. I've got a Univibe, optical Univibe with the LDRs right here that I can work on. Got some more reservoir circuits, and got this tube screamer. So I don't know. What would be something that you guys are interested in the future? We got those single cut style guitars with the Zebrano wood. My dad's got that Firebird project. $100 nano. $470. Definitely do the Univibe. It's something you will never do. That Firebird was looking beautiful. Thanks. I'll let my dad know. He's... If you guys aren't part of... if you guys do Instagram and you don't have me on Instagram, you could check out some of the pictures that I've taken of the projects that we do. Because, like, whatever I don't record live like this, you know, I tend to put on Instagram. So there are more guitar pics and stuff on there, if you want. So if you want to see how that Firebird thing's going, it's all on there. At least when I remember to take pictures, usually I'm just like drooling with my eyes this big. It's like, oh, that thing's pretty. So your next projects are a Tremolo and a clone. Besides all the custom builds you've got rolling. Yeah, you've got a lot of side jobs, which is good. I like to see you with work. But you were telling me that, like, you know, you have local studios having you look at amps and stuff. That's cool. There are no local studios over here, but also I was telling you that, like, amps scare me. Tubes in particular. Just because I don't have any proper training with tubes, I have a fear that I would electrocute myself. Univibe sounds fun. So yeah, the Univibe that I've got here, it won't be digital, it'll be analog. Like I said, optical with the light dependent resistors, the LDRs. I couldn't find the original LDRs that I had planned to use in these, but I found one that's very similar that should work about the same actually. So I'm curious to check out this final circuit board and see what how it sounds, how it works. I think it'll be killer, but we gotta see. A big ass screwdriver is your friend. A fan of the BA screwdriver method? I believe I'm almost done with this. I'll just have the electrolytic capacitors to do. And then that should pretty much be this one. Oops. Uh-oh. No, it's fine. Cool, cool. Rock on. Okay. So once I'm done with this pedal, I'm going to start wrapping up because it is a school night for me. I got work in the morning. Gotta wake up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. my time. It's almost 7:30. But, you know, I'll still hang out and chat for just a bit. Once I'm done with this. So got a couple votes for Univibe. That's cool. That seems to be the one that most people are voting for at the moment. So I'll look into that. I do have a design for the Resurrect. It is one of my punk girl artworks. I don't like the way I just clipped that. Whoopsie. Let's see if I can... Okay, yep, it's fine. I do have some artwork for that one. All the rest of them, like Han shot first, Greedo shot first, the Clean Boost, I don't really have anything for those in terms of artwork and design. So if anybody has any ideas for that stuff, like, lay them on me. I'm a slow artist, way slower than making pedals. So I don't know how well I will be able to make a piece of art. But I can always try. If I ever think about 2-in-1 pedals, you always thought compressor and EQ in one unit would be cool to have in front, only taking one power spot. I like that idea. I really like that idea, John. You also agree with the Univibe. When done right, they're amazing. I've never owned a Univibe. I have had multi-effects pedals that could simulate a Univibe. Uh, but I've never had a Univibe, so I'm going to try and make it special. But I like your idea, John. See, I always thought of the 2-in-1 with the clean boost. Have the clean boost on one side so that you can boost whatever the other effect was. In fact, I was thinking of combining it with the Univibe or something like it. Some kind of swishy modulation, like maybe if I try a chorus or something in the future. And I would call that side Miss Daisy, and then the clean boost would be driving it, so driving Miss Daisy would be the pedal. And then the artwork would be like some kind of punk or goth looking Southern Belle, because I don't know why I just draw punk chicks. Even the one on the Nebulous, that's actually a chick. A lot of people say, or a lot of people think it's a dude, but it could be whoever you want it to be. As far as Star Wars themed pedals, something with Jawas, red LEDs when engaged. Oh. That's clever. You've contemplated an EQ, but sliders on Vero is kind of a no. That's true. Oh, you like the driving Miss Daisy? I wanted to do something like that, but driving Miss Daisy is a trademark or copyright or whatever. It's like I can't really do it, but I can call it Miss Daisy and then just have the foot switch called Drive or something like that. I'd hate to be sued by MGM or whoever it was that made that movie. Paramount, who knows? They'll second the driving Miss Daisy. Mrs. Daisy and the Jawas, yeah, both. I like that Jawa thing. Maybe I could get one of those. Oh, maybe I could get one of those like wedge-shaped enclosures. Like the old fuzzes and whatnot, and that could be like the Jawa sandcrawler. Miss Daisy Drive. There you go. That should be legally distinct enough. Yeah, send me a cease and desist, but I just don't want to get in trouble. I'd hate to be known for that kind of thing. Yeah, I know if I don't stop after that, that's when I can get in trouble. I don't want to reach that point. I don't want to make waves. Oh, there's another one. I think I was gonna call the Univibe. I have a possible design for this one. It's one of my punk gals. She's kind of like looking up, biting her lip. I don't know if it would be kind of an ecstasy thing or more reverence, but I was gonna use a light baby blue enclosure for it, and then also have like little darker blue waves, and I was gonna call it the emotions, like emo and oceans, kind of thing, for the Univibe. That was an idea I had in my head because I already had the artwork. I would just have to make like waves, essentially. You've contemplated doing a run of anime-based theme pedals, like Debbie Ever. I really want to do a Cowboy Bebop one. That's like. What would it be though? I wonder, because you could definitely make one with like the artwork of the ship or Spike. Spike smoking a cigarette. You could call it the broccoli and beef. Tank Girl themed pedals. You know, I've never seen Tank Girl, but I know of it, and it's bizarre and it's totally up my alley, and I don't know why I've never seen it. I think it's just because it's never been on like Netflix or anything, at least while I've looked. That's a movie I really want to see just because it's seems silly and right up my alley. Oh, I did not put the LEDs. But yeah, Tank Girl, Cowboy Bebop, those are all like, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Love the Jawa idea. I don't know if you guys remember the old artwork I had for. It was the gal lighting a cigarette off of a Molotov cocktail, but that's what I'm gonna have as the artwork for the Resurrect. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. And hopefully you can. Hopefully you'll be able to see it in. Come on. Oh. I'm gonna have to download the picture real quick because it's. Yeah. Come on, you can do it. While my phone's thinking, let's see. I think there's an anime involving girls in tanks, which, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of where the idea of Tank Girl came from, or vice versa. I thought Tank Girl was like a British comic book idea. Like it started out as a British comic book. I could be wrong. So it might be an anime came out of that. I don't know. I'm not actually, super big into animes. I think a lot of them are too far fetched for me to get into. I have to suspend a lot of disbelief. But there's some real good ones out there, and the one Nathan was talking about, Cowboy Bebop, that one's like gold standard. Okay. It would be called the Bebop. It would have a boost, a drive, and a distortion in it. And each control would be named after the individual ships, and I would use a hammered bronze finish. Okay, yeah, silhouette of certain characters. On the back, it'll have "See you later, Space Cowboy." Oh, that's good. Your memory is foggy these days. It could have been. Okay. Yeah, I dig that, Nathan. But it's not loading a high-res picture of it, but this, hopefully... Oh, it's too bright. Hold on, let me dim it for you. Oh, God, that's still too bright. I wonder if it's the light coming from over here, but... Yeah, there's a lot of glare now. You can't really see very well, but that's the one, the chick lighting her cigarette with a Molotov cocktail. That's the one I'm going to put for the Resurrect, I think. No, still not. No, okay, no. I'll put it up on the Jump later. you're not big on anime, only familiar with it because of kids. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Growing up, I watched what's it called, like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. It wasn't great, but I watched it. So there's another one done. Hoo-yah. But yeah, there's some good stuff out there. There's a lot of bad, I think. But again, my opinion. My mileage may vary. So, yeah, we got 3 pedals done. One of them more complete than the others because I actually put all the wires and the pots and all that stuff on there. I think it was a good day, good live stream, and for the first time ever, which actually I need to put this thing on airplane mode so it doesn't kick me off. For the first time ever, I went through an entire Twitch live stream without getting kicked off. Beautiful. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me, and if you're watching this in the future, I want to thank all the people that couldn't watch today. It was real fun. Let's see. You're a sucker for space, mecha-themed anime. You'll formally admit it. You know, I love sci-fis and you know, space stuff like that. The themes of things like what's that one? Mobile Suit Gundam. You know, the themes of like war is terrible and it's awful and it ruins billions of lives and stuff like that. I know, 3 hours 18 minutes, no interrupts. Those are some good animes, but it's all the little tropes, like why does the machine have to have a face, that kind of thing. I love mechs, like Mech Warrior is a real cool aesthetic to me, you know, but then you get to Mecha where they fight with swords, okay, alright. Okay. Oh, and they have faces? Oh, okay, yep. It's stuff like that I kind of lean against, but they got real good themes, real good story. So, I'm with you, Nathan. Space theme stuff, mechs, real cool to me. But yeah, it's been a fun stream. I'm glad we're all able to hang out and just not be interrupted for once. Macross? Oh, yeah. I heard an interesting... it was like an interesting history about Macross, and I'm starting to forget it all right now, but like, that used to be a different show entirely. It was actually several different anime shows, and they all put it underneath the Macross, what's the word I'm looking for? Franchise, when they brought it over. That legit explains it? Explains what? Uh-oh. What, the explanation of, like, war is bad and stuff like that? Anyway, yeah, it was a fun chat, and you know what, I really appreciate you guys being able to hang out with me. I know that in the past when the streams get interrupted, everyone seems to go away. I only get like a third of the people back. Robotech? Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I apparently with Twitch, I've been getting these emails from Twitch saying, hey, here's a little report of how your stream went, you know, average viewer count per hour, and all the different stats, how long I've done it, how many days I've done it in a month, and this and that. And it's like, hey, if you want to make affiliate, which is the next step up, where you could actually start becoming a big deal and whatnot, these are the things you need to to get to. So I think part of it is 8 hours in 1 month, stream for 8 hours, which I just did thanks to this one. Have at least an average of 3 viewers per hour, which I think we're above. and then like there are other things like have 15 people talking in the chat or something like that, a bunch of different things, but all this interaction and everything is it actually really helps me out. I'm glad you guys are having fun with me. It's a cool journey. I'm still learning everything, and I'm glad I get to share it all with you guys. And that your time's precious. Thanks for choosing to hang out with me. Really appreciate it. But war is bad. Yep. War bad. Real heavy themes in that show, but yeah. I'll just I'll leave it there. Thanks everybody. If you're of the Instagram persuasion, check us out there. Reza Guitars and Effects, all one word. And we're on Reverb. Check out the store if you want. Always putting up new stuff. Gonna put up a lot of new stuff once I start getting the enclosures done. If you guys ever want to email us with anything, it's rezaguitarsandeffects@gmail. And yeah, so I don't know. Join us on the jump. It's real fun. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time. Thanks, John. Thanks everybody who's here. Thanks everybody who watches us in the future. I will bid thee farewell. Good night, everybody. You're all aces in my book.